All right. Ken's here. Ken's in the house. I'm
Yay.
so excited.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm
It's
so
a pleasure to
excited.
be here. I
It's
can't wait
gonna-
to get
You were going to rock it.
yeah, I can't
Definitely.
wait to get in question
in.
and answers with you and dig in, dive into this stuff.
Dive into
Yes.
it. So most people in Baton Rouge know who you are and all the surrounding areas. But anybody who doesn't know you, let's talk about how Ken got to be Ken.
So with that said, you just told my age. So I come from a small, very, very small town, not much around there. And I grew up really tiny. And so my family is a big football people. So I had to do what I had to do to be good to play football, whether it be running, whether it be weights. And so I started doing both of those and I started making little results. Lo and behold, I got some decent results off of that, just natural, totally with just plastic weights, and I got good results, right? I guess good genetics. Well, anyway, so I went a little further. I took it a little further. I started studying and stuff on why I was gaining weight and what was I eating and what was I doing to make my muscles respond to weight training, even with those little plastic weights. And then so through the course of studying a couple of years, I became a personal trainer. And there was a local gym that opened up, and I was the only personal trainer down there. So I became a personal trainer and got certified, and that was at 17.
That's amazing.
And now I am 57, and I've been doing it ever since. The cool part about me is that I've been doing it so long, and just like a doctor or anybody else in their field, you come across these things that the magazines and the tapes and the books and the school doesn't show you.
Oh, yeah.
And so that's the cool part. And so with that said, I have this plethora, if you would, of knowledge from being on the front line. So whenever somebody asks me, what do you call yourself? I'm a frontline trainer.
That's cool.
I have some certifications, but I've been there, done that, and I've trialed and errored just about everything that you can imagine. I've trained tons of people, from actors, Olympic athletes.
You used to do body competition.
I used to do bodybuilding competitions. I did those people. I did the wellness. I did the fitness. I did the Special Olympics.
Wow.
So in my life, I've done pre-op and post-op. So in my life, I've gotten to see a whole bunch of people and dig into what their needs were and study myself and see what will work for that particular person. And that's what brings us here today.
Yep.
Not just the peptides, but digging in and finding what works for that person. We know this peptides does X, but what can we do to better that for that person?
Yeah.
From a nutrition standpoint, from a physical fitness standpoint, from a peptide standpoint, from a generalized nutritional standpoint.
Yeah.
And so that's what brings us here today. And I'm so excited, as you can tell, to talk about this, because no one has ever sat me down and said, tell me a little bit about more depth about what you're doing.
Give me your brain. Give me your brain.
You. Right. So anyway.
I know. Well, when I said, oh my gosh, I would love to have Ken on the podcast so we can talk about peptides. And that was my initial thought.
Right.
Like, of course, we're going to talk about peptides because that's kind of where the passion is right now. So many people are doing it, but that Smile Smile Wellness, I wanted to do it for my patients, but I wanted to do it different. I didn't want to just be like Big Pharma. I didn't want to just throw stuff at people and then, it not work or not get the right results or the wrong results, God forbid. So... And then I get to you and I'm like, hey, let's do this podcast on peptides. And then you and I start talking. And it goes on a whole nother level.
Yes, totally revamped it for you.
And that was where you went to where makes me happy, where it's not just the end result of the peptide, like giving you a medicine. It was, but where does it come from? But where does it start? But it's back to the basics. It's the basics of your body. God made you like this. This is how you were born. There's some things we were born with. Some things are genetically given. Some is environmental.
Right.
We have all these things that if we don't think about all of that and how our life has revolved and evolved into the things that our body's doing now to compensate for what we do on a daily basis, then it's like you're just throwing stuff to the wind sometimes.
That's right.
And it's expensive stuff most of the time.
And sometimes certain things work for people and sometimes certain things don't work for people. And so it's up to us to find what works for that particular person, but not someone else. And so that's what I love about the sport, I guess, if you would, the most, is that finding that one little thing, even though terzipatide works and this works and TB works and all these other peptides, is still, like you said, you and I talked in the gym, it's just a tool. You have to put all the tools in the toolbox to be successful.
Just one tool in the toolbox,
And basically, it comes down to what I told you earlier. You and I were speaking. To me, it comes down to inflammation is really, really huge.
It's a huge.
As we age, as we go through life, stress, kids, job, whatever it may be, or relationships, the inflammation in our bodies go up. And the peptides really help with inflammation, but we still need it. Once we bring that inflammation down per what peptide we add to it, we still got to have that proper nutrition to not bring that inflammation back up.
Yeah.
To me, and that's the really cool part about the peptides and the nutrition and the training together. And it's the same thing with training. You have to have the right peptide, the right nutrition, and the right training.
Yep.
If you don't, going to have that inflammation, we're going to be back to square one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so,
yes. People ask all the time, like, do we have to stay on this forever? I'm like, well, if you change your habits, you don't.
Correct.
This is your, if you start back, we were talking basic stuff, but if you go all the way back to the beginning or the end, and yes, you're on this peptide, am I going to stay on it forever? Well, you would if you don't change your eating habits, you don't change your mindset, you don't change your nutrition, your sleep.
Yes.
All the basics. So I'm excited to tell people a little bit, it's so much, but a little bit about what are those basics that you were able to look at and say in an assessment, these are the markers that and tickers that I feel like if you did this, this, and this, you could change it. Now, it's not easy stuff.
Right.
Because, if you like having your beer and your pizza and those things, and we tell you can't have it, it's a personal preference, but at least you would know at that point. And there's going to be people who are like you and me who are just wacky, crazy, who are like, tell me what it is and I want to do it. And then there's people who are like, it's not that important to me, I don't care, and that's fine, right? And then there's all the people in the middle who might want to do it. But I do hear that people tell me, I was on GLP-1 and it didn't work for me. And I'm like, ding, 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 ding. Yeah, it's not that the drug didn't work for you. It's all the other stuff.
And that's what made me kind of turn our conversation around, because I've gotten that several times. I've taken the TB and the BP 157 and it didn't work for me.
Yeah.
What was your nutrition like? What was your training like? What was your sleep like?
So
and
much.
we can go on and on and on. I mean, there's so many factors that play into that.
Right.
So if you don't have the total package or a minuscule part of each package, then it's going to work less and less and less. And that's where we are, you know what I mean? And now that people are getting so much into peptides, I wanted to bring it back a little bit per se, say, hold up, there's other factors that factor in with just a peptide.
Right.
So,
and that's not something you can get from just a book.
Correct.
That's from years of training and looking at people and hearing all the different stories, because, we're all made different, completely different. Right. And even with as many people that you've trained, there still may be somebody that comes to you and you're like, let me do my research. At least you know where to go find the research.
Definitely 100%. I
mean, you'll know how to figure out what it is. Whereas if I come to you, if I just think, okay, well, this is what's not happening to me. I mean, I guess I could do a lot of research, but who wants to do that much research? It's kind of like the doctors now they don't know about the peptides, so they don't prescribe the peptides, which I get it. It was a lot to study all these peptides. And I've probably hit on a minuscule amount of peptides. And it was a lot, and it still is a lot of keeping up with and learning. So you learned and you did, and you're in practice. It's kind of you said about doctors earlier. Like, we practice. We have to literally, unfortunately, I have to say it, like, we don't know everything when we first start.
Exactly.
Sorry, patients that saw me when you first started.
And I tell my clients that, but that's what I want people to understand, that's the fun part for me.
For you, you've had all this.
I like people coming to me and I can't figure it out. Let me go and figure it out. That's the part I love, and that's what keeps me to this day driving and getting excited and getting goosebumps about the whole package together.
Love that.
Anyway.
That's cool. And your story's so great. I mean, from 17, good Lord. And then you've seen so many people. So we know you can help a lot of people. We just got to get we have people to understand that you're here and you're available, well, somewhat available. You're pretty busy.
Yeah.
So when I talk to you, I'm kind of like, how can we make this work for people who really want to get healthy? And it's not going to be everybody, and that's fine. But for people who really need it, or are sick and really need to, and they want to find another way, more of a natural way, but then also, like, where are they going wrong? That would be great. So yes, we have all these ailments and all these cancers and all the things, dementia, Alzheimer's, all these things that are happening in our life. They weren't there all the time. Like, a few years ago, they weren't there. So what's causing it?
That's right.
Inflammation.
Inflammation. 100%.
So we know that, but then, and people might know that too. They might say, somebody said I'm inflamed, but they're like, okay, what do I do with that? What do I do for that? Yeah. How do I do this? Do I just, drink more water? Do I just do whatever? So for you you've done all this studying and you know all the things, just to get your brain, like, for me, it's so fun just to pick your brain sometimes and just, like we talked about, we can just go on and on and on about.
I mean, this can go on forever. Like, this can go on forever. So
we
much
could do
information.
like 100 podcasts about this stuff.
But that's what's so cool about it.
I know, but I do want people to know that it's available, and we'll talk about that at the end. Like, that we're trying to get you available, and that as a small spa wellness, I'm trying to kind of figure out the best way to have you be able to assess people, and then give them possibly a nutrition plan, give them, some training, and then give peptides if that's what's going to help them, which is not a natural synthetic, but not like a pill, not like a post-op reactive pill. Like
Right.
let's be proactive, and before we get dementia and before we get cancer and all the things, let's see if we can find a way to make you healthy, anti-inflamed, sleeping better, eating better, training better.
Right.
Even if training is just walking. Not everybody wants to lift a bunch of weights
Yeah,
and
exactly.
look
And
all
that's
buff.
not what I'm here to talk about. Like, to tell people, I'm not going
have
to
to be a
tell you to,
bodybuilder.
right. I'm not going to
Yeah.
tell you to lift 500 pounds or walk on this treadmill for 45 minutes. That's old.
Run marathon.
Yeah, that's old stuff.
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that anymore.
It really
You know what I
doesn't.
mean?
Isn't that
People thought it
crazy?
worked like that, and it did for that time. But there's other entities that we can put in place
Yeah.
to not have that person. For instance, I know someone's going to drink alcohol. I know someone's going to do this. I know someone's going to do. So it's up to me as a trainer or the person who I say I am to be able to come up with some plan for them, knowing that they're going to have
works
those
for them.
life entities, right?
Yeah, it works in your
So
life.
I factor that into the training and the peptide and the nutrition and all that. I'm not that crazy where I take things away from people, because they'll never do it if you take
And it
a
won't work.
lot away from people,
Right.
and it won't work. And then
Yeah.
we're back to square one. Been there, done that. Don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, you don't want to fight with people.
Correct.
Like, look,
Not
if
at
you
all.
want it,
Yes.
it's here for you, and this is what you could do with it. This is if you want to be really
This is-
crazy good, and this is if you just want to feel better and look better
Exactly.
and keep yourself healthy
This
for
is
a
too
a
fun
long
for
time.
me, and the man upstairs, if I can say that, did this to me. I figured it out 20 years ago, and he gave me all this information, and now I want to put it out
I
there.
love
So,
that.
I mean, it's people that you just have to be a part of it to understand it
Yeah.
and educate people, and that's what gets people excited. Is that it's not just another training routine. He's gonna bust my butt in the gym. I'm gonna sweat. I'm gonna do this. I like to educate people. I'm doing this for you because of this.
Yeah.
And when the people have education, the clients have more education on it, they tend to be more excited about it, and it works that
And
much
they
better.
understand.
Yes, they
you
understand.
and I said this, and not to throw my dad under the bus, but it was always like, well, why? I would ask, tell you to do something, and
Yeah.
I'm sure most parents are like that. I've caught myself once or twice when I was younger, like, ooh, as a young parent.
Yeah.
The kids are always, why? They want to know. And so, but you don't want to have all the, like, oh, I got to explain this. You're not going to understand it just because I said so.
Exactly.
Just because I said so. And if you tell an adult, I want you to do this training plan, I want you to eat this much protein, and they say, why? And you say, because I said so.
Yeah.
They're like,
100%.
You got to give them their why. As in anything in life, we need to have our why. We need to have our goal. We need to have our reason for doing what we're doing. And it has to mean something to you.
That's right.
And you got to want it. Because
You're
we can line everybody up, across Baton Rouge and say, you need to have all this stuff. And some people might want it and some people might not, and that's fine. But you got to want it for yourself to do things to make yourself healthy.
You have to bring people to, not that anybody's more intelligent than anybody, but you have to I noticed this, you have to bring people back to the ABCs, I call it, of it. I can't just tell somebody to take this peptide that just came about and eat this food because it does this, and the kinesiology behind it, and then the nutritional part behind it, and the rehabilitation part behind it. I have to start with ABCs. So
Okay.
I have to start real simple with people. Not that I'm smarter than them, but they get it that much more. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People don't want all this information on it. I leave that to the doctors. Let them tell you that, but then let Ken break it down for you in
Yeah.
more simplistic terms.
Yeah, I like that.
And so it works a little bit better for me. I think it's why my longevity in this why people come to me is because I break it down in simpler terms. And they're like, because a lot of times doctors say, doctor told me do this, and I'll break it down into these terms on what I do. And they're like, yeah, that makes more sense.
Makes more sense. It's got to make sense.
Not really more sense. I just put it in more simpler terms.
I
you
just
know what I mean?
turned it around, the words
yeah.
around.
And so anyway, people get it like that. And I'm
love
very blessed to have tons of clients that put all their faith and hope and trust in me. And I think that's what my success
Well, I think you've
comes
earned
from.
it, though. You've
Well,
earned it. I know you're very humble
I have
about that.
great people, and I have great people that surround me, and people like you that have knowledge, and I utilize that knowledge. I don't just put it out because you're a doctor and you give this peptide or you do this dentist work. I study it and I bring it in together with us, and so it's
Yeah.
just another stepping stone on what we
I
can
love
do.
it. So if we were going to do, which we want to do, is be able to give people the option to do an assessment. Tell me, so where would you start with somebody? If somebody said, hey, I want an assessment from Ken Falgoust.
So the crazy part about the assessment is I don't do all the testing. I leave that to you guys. And I need to visualize and see the person. And I need to see the fat content. And I don't mean that you're fat, I'm skinny. I need to see the fat content ratio, not on a scale, but from a visual standpoint. I don't need to see the internal. I need to see the external. I need to see what kind of sweat you have. I'll make you walk a little bit and just to get you sweating. I need to see if your sweat is thick. I need to see if you have a rolling sweat. I need to see if you have a bubbly sweat. And I can tell a lot by just a person's sweat. Once again, because I've been doing it a while, but I can tell a lot, i.e., alcohol consumption. I'm using that as a alcohol consumption if they have an infection in their body or type stuff like that,
Like
right?
if they're dehydrated or not too, you can tell
If
by
they're
the way
dehydrated,
their skin feels.
the way the skin feels, dehydration, the way the veins are out, any kind of swelling of any kind, because anything that's injured or not in balance, it swells, right? I.e., ankle, shoulder, neck, whatever. A mosquito bites us on a hand and it swells.
Yeah.
That's something going wrong right there.
Yeah.
And so everybody has, I'm using mosquitoes example, but everybody has a lot of internal stuff going on that they don't even know they have.
Right.
Well, my ankle's swelling, but I don't know why. Well, then I need to address that.
Yeah.
I can't rightfully get you on a treadmill if your ankle's swelling. And so the visual is the best part for me, that I can come up with a routine, a program, whether it be nutrition, whether it be a physical program, whatever, physically, mentally. And then I can talk to that person and tell them there is hope for you. Like, you don't have to just take these drugs. You don't have to just bust your butt
Or have
in
surgery.
the gym
Or
or
have
surgery.
to
There
fix
is
whatever
hope.
the issue.
It's going to take us a while. And then it's another thing. I know a lot of people. I'm like, look, how long? Because I get this all the time. How long is it going to take me? It's 6 weeks. Nah. You have this going on. We have to get that combated first. That's a 4-week period. I'll throw some out there. That's a 4-week period. Then it'll take me 2 weeks to get you balanced again. Balance is a key thing. Then it'll take me another 2 weeks when we get you balanced to get everything hydrated and uninflamed. And then we'll go from there. So it's a process. So I like to look at people. I'll usually get them on the, introduce myself and get a feel for how that person is, interact with them, and then get them on a treadmill. You can tell a lot, and I'll get behind them and say, pardon me, I'm going to get behind you, and I'm going to watch you walk, because walking tells a lot. And so when they're walking, I'm looking at their knees, I'm looking at their ankles, I'm looking at, believe it or not, a cheat sheet is their tennis shoes. I make them wear tennis shoes. So if they have their tennis shoes that are getting worn out on the back side of the heel outside, or the inside or the front side, I can tell a lot of a person's imbalance with how their shoes, their sneakers are. And then the knees, we go up from there, and then the spine, and then the neck, and if their shoulder drops when they walk, or if they lead with this hand and not this one. And then so I work on, that's my balancing program. And then I turn the balancing program into a fitness program, into a nutrition program, and then here we are, come to you for the peptides.
Yeah.
And then just balance everything out.
So cool. It's so cool. The things you talk about that
interesting.
you can see.
I know.
You're right. It's a gift from God, for
It's amazing.
sure.
Absolutely. 100%.
It's awesome.
Give it all to him, yes.
Yeah, give him the glory.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
We're smart, but we're not that smart.
Yeah, right. I wouldn't take that.
Like to claim it, but no, it's not happening.
100%.
So we do the assessment, and then from there you could say, okay, this would be the training program, which is not the same training program forever and ever and ever.
No.
It has to evolve. Like, you have to say, okay, do this for a little bit, and then you reassess them, usually, depending on the person and what's going on. It could be a 4-week, a 6-week, 90 days.
Depending on what
It
the
could kinda be
person wants. If you come to me and say, I want to drop 10 pounds tomorrow, not really, but
have a wedding in a month.
I'll put them on a special program. And I tell them this. I said, this is not really nutritious. This is just to get you 5 pounds dropped right off the bat. And then they see if I can perform that, if I can make that happen, then I win their trust. Then I can back off a little bit and give them the real nutrition part of it. And so
we all want instant gratification these days.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the hard thing to teach to people, is that instant gratification is not always the right way to go.
Right, exactly.
But I get it.
Yeah.
And then in the same aspect, if they're I'm going to use this also, if they're overweight, then it might be to come to you first and get a peptide to bring them down, and then let's do their nutrition program and their fitness program. Because if somebody can't do a fitness, I need you to give them that peptide first.
Yeah.
So the peptides, that's what I'm saying. Not just right off the bat, let's give a peptide. We have to see. I have to see the person first. You and I speak of that, do an evaluation, and then see what's the right route for that person.
Yeah.
Right person, right route, right amount, right?
So much. That's so good, because that's where I didn't want to go with the peptide thing, is just be, and not like I just don't want to be like everybody else. I just wanted to be proactive and have it make sense and do good for people, and not just be somebody giving peptides. I mean, like you said, anybody down the street can give a peptide. You can go online, God forbid, and buy some peptides. It might be water, colored water, but who cares?
And that's what gives people kind of that bad taste in their mouth. And that's what happened to me. You do this thing and it does this, and you take all this stuff, and that's not the right way. You don't feel the results. I want people not just to see the results, but I want you to feel them.
Yeah.
I want you to feel better and come to me and say, man, I am balanced. I did this weekend when I couldn't do it anymore. I stopped this. I'm only drinking this a week now, and so on and so forth. That's success. That's an accomplishment.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Anyway. It makes you feel accomplished. Yep. They're accomplished, makes you feel accomplished. And then at that point, they can continue it whether it's to continue as keep being assessed, or at least they know now what they need, what their body needs. So it's all about each person's body, and like you're saying, what's the problem with the body, what they need to do to fix these things. Correct. And then we are ever evolving, so it's always changing.
Always
like
changes,
menopause
right.
will start happening, or then we get older and our mind starts to go. So it's never just like a one and done. But the more you know about yourself, the more you can help yourself. And then every now and then having to call back, Ken, now I have this thing happening.
Yes, and it happens. I keep several of my clients that have been with me for 30 years, and I still give them diets. I still change their training because, just like I use the egg or the milk. A long time ago, eat the egg yolks. It's no big deal. Then he went to, don't eat the yolks. They're bad for you. Now it's eat 1 to 4. Well, who's right in that?
Yeah.
Well, so here's Ken. Here we go with the visual again. I can come in and say, Miss Amy, those 3 eggs I gave you with 1 yolk is not working. It's holding a little bit. I don't like that. Well, that's the only thing I'm doing different. So the eggs are holding. Let's discard the eggs altogether. And that's happened before. Some people are egg sensitive, right?
Yeah.
Some people are broccoli sensitive, and that's supposed to be the 2 best things for you, right? Well, so I can visually see what's going on in their body and pull that or add this. And so it's an ever-changing, ever-evolving type of thing.
Ever-evolving thing.
And with that said, once we evolve the food and the training, the peptides will evolve right in with it. We can use them to mix.
And change.
Yes, and change and move around, right?
Definitely.
You don't need that now, you need this now. You don't need the broccoli now. I'm using that as a total example. You need this now. Let's not go with that. This is too porous for you, and so on and so on and so on.
You got to tell the story. I love this story. I told my husband when I got, I'm like, Marcus, listen to this about the pea and the wax around the pea.
So that was a bodybuilder. Bodybuilders, their body fat's really low, so you can really and I didn't care too much for the bodybuilding scene, but I was into it for about 10 years, training people. And what it did was it got me to see when someone's lean, what exactly foods work. Somebody that's 200 pounds, not that they're obese, but I can tell you this egg or this green bean or this broccoli is going to do this, and you're not going to see it because of that. But when they get that lean, you can really see everything that you. So there was this one person that body fat was really low for a contest. And they were doing everything that I told them to do. And I wanted to come down 2 more pounds to get them to do well in the show. And so I'm doing everything you telling me, Mr. Ken, and so on. So we went on down. No, you're not. No, you're not. Yes, we are. And so come to find out, long story short, I said, let's pull the green beans and so on and so forth and add this and just go this and use this for your carbohydrate instead of that. And anyway, just by pulling the green beans and adding an asparagus in place of that, water soluble. The waxy, come to find out, we did a little study, a little research. This is where Ken comes in with his research, right? His own personal research. I'm not a scientist or a doctor, but come to find out the waxy maize in the pea of the green bean was causing that person to hold 2 whole pounds.
Of water? Inflammation
water because
I think that's crazy.
Because his or her body didn't process that bean anymore. I'm talking about low body fat now, right? So the normal person wouldn't see that. Well, that dude's crazy. I'm not going to go with him. He's crazy. He's going to pull green beans for me. That's not what it's about. It's just at that stage on that person, that something so small. Yeah. So when I tell you, I know the sweat. I can feel it and I can see it. And when your shoulder's getting red and your left shoulder's not getting red, I know the blood supply is more in one than the other. I can fix all that.
It's so wild.
It's so cool,
wild.
Though.
I love it.
It's
It is
so cool.
It is cool. That's why I feel like all the time, I just want to pick the stuff out of your brain and tell you. I'm like, I want to write a book.
It's so great.
Just,
I told you I have all this information and I don't know what to do with it. So I don't know if it can help anybody.
Get it out
but
to the world the best we can. And then if we need to, we're going to find a way to just, put it on paper right now.
And I'm that little guy that's going to find it out. I'm like that little gnat that keeps biting you. I'm going to find it out. Don't give up on me. I'll get it for you. I'll get it for you.
I'll find out what's going on. Why are you holding those 2 pounds of water?
And that's, I feel like that's all people want, is somebody to be there with them, and continue to help them, because everybody messes up, right? Yeah. Can I cheated this week? Don't worry about it. I'm not that person to slap you and say, how dare you do that? Yeah. Don't worry about it. Let me change a couple of things for the next 3 days. You'll come down a pound or 2 or go up a pound or 2, whatever we're trying to do at that stage. And then we'll go from there. Yeah. Don't beat yourself up with that. Everybody does that. I'm not crazy. Everybody does that, right?
Except you are crazy.
Well, I am. No, but that's
kidding.
why I'm successful, because I do it to myself. Yeah. I've dehydrated myself. I've gone 5.5, 6 days without water just to see what my internal organs would do and stuff like that. Not healthy, right? But I'm that guy. I want to see.
You're gonna see
I want to
why.
know what it
Well,
does.
then when somebody asks you why do I need to drink this much water, you can tell them why. Because if not, this happens to your skin. This happens.
Absolutely. You could tell by a person's eyes too, the whites of their eyes, whether they have something going on in their body or not, and if they're getting proper hydration or blood flow to certain organs.
And that's why we want to try to get people in front of you to do the assessment. Because I thought, I remember when I went to you the first time, I was like, look, I have this, we bought this shape scale because this gives you so much information. And you kind of slapped me down, not in a bad way, but
that's
it's
a tool. That's another tool.
It's a good tool for them and for us to look at. But at the same time, if you really want to have a full body assessment, you have to see the person to get a kin assessment for sure. You know, the scale is great if that's all you got, but if they want more, then having a human assessment is really good.
Yes.
And also, like I was thinking that when you were talking about, you know, the way we do things now, where unfortunately, I love our doctors are great. They're super smart and they've done the school and they've done all the things.
Yeah.
But we only know what we know. You know, like I can't go and do heart surgery because I've only know these
exactly,
things.
exactly.
So the doctors only know now what they know, and they're seeing so many patients between the whole insurance world and all the things. It's just gotten to be so much that they don't have time to sit and look at the white of the eyes or look at their tinny shoes. Even if they knew that and they could remember that from school and they thought it was important, and they probably all do think it's important, they don't have the time, you know? So it's like you don't get that one-on-one with your doctors anymore. I mean, I have a VIP doctor and I do get a lot of time with her, but still, you know, as a layperson, doctor-ish person, I don't want to take up her time. So then you also feel like, I don't want to go ask her those questions, you know?
Sure.
That's kind of frivolous. I don't want to ask her like why my eyes are dry or whatever, you know. So some of it's on us, and some of it's on the fact that they're just super busy. So when you have a crazy great doctor that is ready, like here's my phone number, you can text me anytime. As people were like, oh, I don't want to, or we don't even know to be worried about the dry eye. Like, oh, that's just something that happens. Where, you know, when you get that assessment with somebody and you have a one-on-one with them, either training with them or you're watching their nutrition, you're doing an assessment every so long, looking at them, you know, and they have you kind of like in their back pocket where they can talk to you, talk to me, talk to Spencer, like whoever they have as our team, that's like, just reach out to us and tell us. And then if we don't know it, we're going to figure it out. How to fix
I've trained several doctors and nutritionists and all before. I'm probably not supposed to say this either, but a lot of those come to me, not that they don't know that, but just to get my side of the story per se and what I think about it and what I feel about it, and not say that they're wrong or I'm right or vice versa. But respectfully so, we just feed off of each other, and that's really cool. I didn't know that about the green bean per se.
Yeah.
I give this. Why wouldn't somebody do that? So a nutritionist is probably going to give you spinach as one of the green. For instance, this is totally for instance, spinach. Spinach is good for you, right? We've known that for years. So if you tear a spinach leaf and you look inside of it microscopically, it's going to be little holes in it. It's going to be porous. Well, somebody who has problems with inflammation, that pore, we don't want that pore from that vegetable in there, because that's going to create a bigger, more inflammation, right? More pores. We want that to be flat. And that's a spinach leaf now. We're getting deep now, but I'm just saying
so deep.
but all those things factor in with that. When the food pyramid says spinach and this and that, it's not bad. That's great. But per what the client wants and how I want to get them to live a better life. I'm not saying you can't have spinach. So all the spinach people, don't call me, because
I love spinach.
Spinach is great. So don't call me on that. It's a great nutritional vegetable, but little things like that make a totally difference. And so I tell people that all the time. Well, I love spinach. Well, guess what? Let's do this now. Let's get you to a point where you're happy with, and then you can add those
decrease
spinaches
inflammation
in.
and then
Decrease it. And then if I'm on this peptide and I'm doing this with Ken, monitoring that, then I can have that spinach, or I can go have this. Hey, drink 1.5 glasses of wine tonight. People are going to love to hear this. 1.5 glasses of wine tonight instead of 2 because you had a little more inflammation. Hey, Friday you can have 2 because you did really good these last 3 days. You really, really came down. So. And then, but it's up to me also again to take that, and when they come to me Monday, I know that they have those 2 glasses instead of that 1 glass, so I need to factor in their workout to accommodate those 2 glasses of wine. And I'm using that as an example.
Yeah.
And so that's up to me as a trainer. That's where my training comes in.
Yeah.
Let me sneak in a little cardio with you to accommodate what I gave you as a treat that time. And so we kind of ride that line of that
Yeah.
So it's really fun. I love doing that stuff.
We can
It's so
tell.
cool.
Yeah.
So
And we're
cool.
glad you do.
So
Definitely
cool.
glad that you do. So we also want to be able to tell people too, which is important to me, was so if somebody comes and says, I have cancer in my family, I have dementia in my family, I have that in the family, that's one thing that I definitely want us to be able to address is, okay, well, that's not something I want. That's, it's here, and I'm kind of nervous about it. You don't want to live in fear, of course, because but it is stuff that's been becoming more prevalent, that we're having that, and people don't know how to fix it. And some doctors only want to, well, when you get it, we're going to give you this. Well, that's not where we want to be. That's not where I want to be. And I mean, if that's where you want to be, it's fine. But ideally, we want to be able to be preventive and not reactive, have preventative medicine and not reactive medicine. It was my goal with the Smile Spa, and it's also my goal. That's why I'm kind of coming to you. Like, you could help us be, have a bigger assessment, have a broader assessment of everything that's going on in their life, so that it's not just like, oh, we'll take this one mind peptide and this is going to help your brain, and then it doesn't work and you still get dementia. I will feel terrible.
Look, I make people go get blood panels all the time just so we could see. And then the doctor reads it. I say, would you mind bringing it to me so I could do my assessment of it? Not that I'm better or lesser than a doctor or whatever. I just want to see what I can do to bring that down. And then I want to do it again in a couple months to see if I was able to bring that down from my perspective, much less a peptide. You know what I mean?
Right.
I want to do all I can from my training and my nutrition first, and then add the peptide in. Not later, but in accordance with what I do.
When it needs to go
when
in.
it needs to go in, and at the right times, and at the right amounts.
Yeah.
And so,
I think that's a good
anyway, so that's my studies right now. Is how much to take, or should I take, when am I going to take this, with food, without food, and so on and so forth. Because there's so many entities out there, and you can pull up stuff on the internet, and everybody has a little bit difference of opinion, and that's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
It's just what that person felt at that time. But there's a couple of them that I've done myself that I can tell you that worked for me.
Yeah.
At my body fat, at my training level, at so and so and so and so.
Yeah, we've been getting some good results. I've been excited to hear the testimonies. I'm hoping to be able to get some good testimonies and put them out, on our page, on our YouTube channel too, so people can really hear real life people that are really here,
Right.
not just like somebody from, they're like, oh, what is this person talking about? No, real life, we've had these results. But of course, like we talked about, not everybody's, you could take the exact same thing. You and I could take the exact same thing, and we could definitely not have the same results.
Right.
So we can't just be like, oh, that person did great on Retatrutide. Let's start giving them this
Start
crazy new
giving them that.
Retatrutide.
That's not what it's
And
about.
like,
No.
no, it's not going to work that way.
Right. It's
So
not-
that's
totally
kind
not
of
what
the
it's
point
about.
of today, and having you here is just to really go back to the fact that, yes, we have these peptides. Smile Spa Wellness is, excited about offering peptides. We're excited about, having my son as a trainer, and got to meet you from that gym, which has been great. Y'all are such great trainers. We have all these things in our pocket, but it's not all just cookie cut. Like, it's not just like, oh, everybody do these things and then that's it. It's gonna need, if you want to do it right, we need to do it person by person and be more.
And I think that's what the world's coming to now with the addition of the peptides. Peptides been around forever, but the world started getting it. And so with the addition, the acceleration of peptide usage, it's things are a little bit different. The nutrition is a little bit different. People's lives are a little bit different than it was in the past, and so on and so forth. And so it's up to us to take those peptides and add it to the now instead of the past and where it's going. And same thing with the nutrition. I love about this. Another thing I love about this sport or this job is everything's always changing. What I told people 5 years ago may not apply now. And that's okay. That's cool, because that means we're evolving, right?
Yeah.
And everything's a little bit
We're
different
learning.
now. So
Yeah.
we're learning. We continue with that evolving of everything. We're just
Continue
adding new
practice.
stuff. Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly.
So anyway, that's what
learn
makes it so fun and exciting. A continual process of evolving and things changing what may have been and now isn't.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The people that say they don't like change, I'm always like, why? Like, I love
Yeah.
change, almost to a fault though. Like,
Yeah.
I'll change quick about stuff. Just like, oh yes, I'm squirrel, Yeah, So
absolutely.
it could be a good thing and a bad thing having change, but overall it's good to accept change and do change. If we eat the same thing every day for all of our lives, our body's just not going to do anything with it.
Definitely.
You're wasting all this.
She's
whatever.
doing that again. Let me put this on the back burner.
Yeah,
And I know
I'm
what
not
she's
getting
going to do.
any
That's correct.
protein out of that. I'm not getting stuff out of that. You could throw peptide and everything you want at it, and it's not going to work. But you can throw medication at it at the end too, and all that's going to do is just mask the problem that you never fixed down
Exactly.
here. So I do think we could offer people a lot of good information, and then they take the information, they can use the information either with you, with Spencer, with me, with whoever they want to use it with.
Yeah.
You could have this information. So we'll offer assessments for sure. and then we'll offer training, offer nutrition plans, and offer peptides. So we have all that kind of like in our little back pocket to be able to help people, whoever want to be helped, whoever wants to be helped. Is there anything we missed today? There's so much. We
I mean,
could
there's
get
so
you
much,
back.
and we could go on forever and hours, and people get tired of me all the time. I'm talking, so I can bring this to any level we want to go with, but that's kind of what I want to get people, make them understand or know that there's more to it than just that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Training, water intake, inflammation, peptides, whatever. There's way more to it than just that.
Yeah.
Just get educated for you on what it is. And I'm not even telling you to take my word for it. I'm going to give you a thing of what I think. Don't rely on that. Go do your own research.
Do your research if you want to do it. If you
and
have
then
time.
come back to me and say, hey, you told me this, but guess what? My body has this. Good. Let's change that.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
Yeah.
Please come back
Change
with
it up.
information. So I don't pretend to sit here and be the end all be all and the know it all. I know less. I want to know more. So give me that information. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. Read, study. And it's almost the best thing that ever happened to me is when COVID happened and I stopped watching the news.
Yeah.
So now it's like I'm watching all these podcasts. And it's kind of a good thing and a bad thing because now I'm just like going off them. But you learn a lot. You learn a lot more than watching the news or some regular show on TV. The only thing we didn't touch on that I think I do want to do a little bit on, and this could go on forever too, but is sleep. Because I do treat sleep in the office, and I have another guy that I've just recently talked to. They have a sleep test, and he did tell me that the GLP-1 now, the insurance is paying, which you don't want to deal with that, but insurance is helping patients that are having sleep apnea to have, and they're overweight, of course. They're paying for them to have the GLP-1 so that they can lose the weight for the sleep. They're not dealing with anything else, and that's fine. He's a sleep doctor, and he's going to help these people sleep. Yeah. I had started it even before I met him, but doing oral appliances because I kept hearing people that hated their CPAP and they wouldn't wear their CPAP and all these things. And I was like, these people, if you're not breathing, I mean, we're talking about getting back to the basics.
Hundreds
oxygen,
of people out there. Yeah, right.
Basic oxygen.
Right.
We need oxygen to focus and to function, our body to work right. So sleep for me was almost where one of the things that I started this with was TMJ, inflammation, and then sleep. I knew that if they would lose some weight, because I work on people in their sleep position, and I see all of this in the way, So I knew for heavier people, it's harder for me to get in their mouth. It's harder for them to get in their mouth, and it's harder for them to breathe.
Right.
So I knew that along the way. But even if they're not heavy, if you have a sleep issue, we know that the body's not working. So you also assess their sleep.
Says their sleep. A lot of sleep comes with going back to dehydration. Imbalance and dehydration. Those two cause inflammation, which is where that comes in. Gotcha. Now, in a person like that, you could probably give them the peptide that helps that out, and we could work backwards on that one just to get them some. Because if you're not sleeping, you're in a dehydrated state when you wake up, and you're in a inflammatory state when you wake up.
Does it make your cortisol go up too, though?
Make your cortisol go up. So you start every day in the minus.
Yeah.
When we're trying to get you in the plus or to zero, and so in that case, the peptide introduction to get it down. Just like somebody that's way overweight, get them down first a little bit. Yeah. Small dose, see how the body reacts. Get them down, and then slowly add all those other things in there. We got to get that, because if you're not getting enough oxygen to your lungs, that's straight up inflammation right off the bat. And you don't get oxygen to your lungs, you're not going to grow any dense muscle, which in turn is going to burn body fat, which in turn is going to make you balanced, which in turn is going to keep you hydrated, and so on and so on and so on. Yeah. So that's a huge one. Sleep is huge.
Sleep is huge. Definitely, I do think.
So how we monitor that? Well, we get them the little Oura rings. A lot of people come to me with the Oura rings. I'm just using that example, and monitor your sleep. My sleep, Ken? Yeah, try to get you 4 hours. Let's start slow. Try to get 4 hours. And then so that's where you come in with a peptide. Let's go that 4 hour first, then move on to 5, move on to 6 with the nutrition, with the hydration, and with what Ken does. And it's so cool. I'm so happy I met you, because it's so cool how we can keep spinning and go around and just, you know what I'm saying? And I think you for sure, with your knowledge on that, you can really help a bunch of people in that aspect.
And that's the goal, just to help everybody get healthy and not.
That's what it's about, right?
Yeah, I don't want any of my friends or family dying, having early deaths from some stupid reason that they could just fix by an Oura ring or a lot
of those we can fix.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not, like I said, a doctor or an end all
we're
be
not
all,
God or a doctor,
right? But we can fix a lot of those things.
Yeah,
I've had several people come to me with shoulder injuries, for instance, and that you need surgery. Let me go see Ken first. Can you fix this? I can try. I don't know, but give me a shot.
Yeah.
And I work well with those doctors. And so we do some exercises for the shoulder and build the small fibers around it and just add in this little peptide. Because so I tell people all the time, peptides are this big, an amino acid may be that big, and a protein molecule may be that big. So we're going to lose this little small one as we age first. So if we put that little small one back, we're almost working ourselves in reverse. So let's put that in first to heal that shoulder, TB 500, BB 157, whatever. Yep. Let's put that in right in your shoulder, subcutaneous, of course. Let's put that in your shoulder or whatever you say. Work on that, and then I'm going to work the smaller fibers to make that little peptide work to our advantage. Then I'm going to move on to the amino acid, to the next fiber. Then I'm going to move on to, okay, let's get your protein intake. Yeah. So you see how it's always...
It's a building block.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely a building block.
Anyway.
Back from the basics.
Yes, exactly. Back from the basics. That's right. Here we are. That's right.
We're going to go there.
Yes.
Well, good. Well, I'm excited. We're going to put all this information will be on the YouTube channel, and we'll be able to have ways to get in touch with you, to get in touch with the Smile Spa, to get in touch with you, so that we can do the assessments. If somebody wants the assessments, just wants more information, we'll have that all on the podcast.
I'm excited for it.
I appreciate it.
And thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you.
You're the best.
Yeah, same here. I think the same of you. So anyway, we're
going to have you back.
Yes.
Definitely.
I'd love to be back.
Pick your brain some more in between the books.
Because we really didn't touch on too much of anything, but so we'll see what happens.
It takes a lot to get
it does
out of what your brain.
It does, you can tell people just don't worry about what he said. Just don't worry about what I said. Just go see him or go see you and let us work on it for you, and then you'll eventually get the picture. Don't try to get all this information right off the bat.
You're right. I mean, we're definitely like throwing it. You're going to be drinking from a fire hose right now, but I wanted to just have people just understand what's even out there.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is a lot. And so at some point, if you want more, we have a place for you to get more.
100%.
You know, if it's drinking for a fire hose and it makes you nervous, just maybe watch a few more or
come
and meet us a little bit. We're not.
That's right.
We're not that scary, I don't think.
And I'm going to continue trying the peptides so I can keep living. So hopefully I can keep doing these podcasts with you and giving people more.
I want to be 100.
Giving people more information. Right.
What's your number? You want to be 112?
I want to be 100 and probably 2 for sure. And then probably retire at that.
Retire
at 102. I want to retire at 102.
Retire at 102.
And then just take what's the peptide with the that you don't have to work out too much. You just said before.
Oh yeah, that's that SLP.
I'll take that one at 102 and we're not work out anymore. Nah,
Can't work out at 102.
I think I'm always going to work out. I'll try my best.
What time does your morning start?
So my morning starts at 2:45.
Wow.
No, I don't sleep 1 minute over. No, I don't press snooze on the alarm clock. 2:45, get out of bed, go straight to the refrigerator, and I grab 10 blueberries, 5 raspberries, 5 blackberries. And I eat that because of the polyphenols and the nutrients in that first. You're supposed to take those on an empty stomach. There's a little tidbit right there that you can give to people. Empty stomach work fantastic.
Okay.
So 10 blueberries, 5 raspberries, that's just what I choose, and 5 blackberries. Then I go brush my teeth, and then I go shower. And then I think about my day, and that's when I do my praying is in the shower. I'll stay there, and I do my prayers in there, and then dress, and then take my peptides.
Okay.
Depends on which one they are.
Okay.
Take them in between. Heat up my food, make my eggs, or what I'm going to eat, eggs. It's normally eggs and avocados because I want a little high fats because I work out in the morning, so I get a little high fat.
How do you do your eggs? What do you like your eggs to be?
So I like to take... It's another same
you knew it wasn't
same
be
thing
like
with the blueberries.
normal eggs.
So I like to take part of the yolk off.
Okay.
When it starts cooking, so I don't want all that yolk.
Okay.
But I don't want to sit there and go 4 egg whites and 1 yolk. So I just take half of the yolk out when it starts cooking. You let it start
cooking like a fried egg?
Throw that out. Yeah, like a fried egg.
And then you
throw
pull
that out,
some
but
out.
definitely no grease. Just fried egg with water. Put water in, a little bit of water, fry the eggs.
Okay.
And I get all that together, my half avocado, and I put that in a napkin, and I wait precisely 35 minutes. So I want all my peptides to work. And so I wait 35 minutes. This is every day. Every day. And when I'm driving, I get certain point towards the gym, and I'll scarf those down, and then I'll start warming up and get my workout in, and then I'll eat another meal, something like that.
So you work out first before you see your clients?
So I work out.
So what time do you get to the gym?
I work out 4 days a week. As I'm aging, I'm noticing that the rest is more important than the workouts.
Gotcha.
And so I work out about an hour and 10 minutes, 45 minutes to an hour and 10, depending on what I'm doing that day. And then I start my clients from then on. Then I go all the way, and I take an hour, 30 minutes for lunch, and then I go again till whatever time I finish, 4 or 5 in the evening.
And then you get home
every day.
So you got like a 4 to 4 day.
I get home, and then I take my second part of peptides before I eat, because there's some I take on empty stomach, my preference only. There's some I take on empty stomach, and I'll take my peptides. Then I'll do it in reverse. I'll go shower, and then I'll do my my dinner after my peptides, 45 minutes after I take my peptides, because I want to make sure I have enough space before.
Okay.
Anyway, and then I eat my dinner, and then I play around. We have custody of my little grandbaby. So I play around with him, do his homework, and then I'm watching TV until I fall asleep, which is usually about 8:45.
8:45.
And sometimes it's hard for me to go to sleep at that time because I'm so excited to get up and do it all over again. This is true. I'm so excited to get up and do it all over again, yes. And my clothes are always lined up. And yes, people that know me know they think I wear the same thing, but I have 5 black pants, 5 black shirts, 5 black overshirts. Yes, I wear this every day. Yes, I sleep in this. Yes, I always have a turtleneck on. I always zipped up to the top. Yes, that's me.
You do?
Always.
Yeah, I had no doubt of what you were going to wear to the podcast today.
I used to be an actual football coach and coached in the summertime like this. 100%.
Is there for a reason?
My mom seems to think, I've heard her stories before, so working out with the Sears weights.
Yeah.
When I went to high school, that was kind of elementary. When I went to high school, I already had a 6-pack per se. And when you go to high school, you have to shower now, right? Elementary school, you don't have to shower. Now I got to take my shirt off, which I never do, by the way. So she says she thinks it's like bully, like, oh, you got abs. What are those? That's alien like that. And I think ever since then I wear a turtleneck and been doing that since 10th grade probably.
PTSD from being called out because you look good.
Every day. I'll go to church with this. Not this jogging suit, but a turtleneck. Matter of fact, I don't have a short sleeve or shorts in my closet at all ever.
And this is pretty interesting because Spencer and I talk about this. The person that probably has the best body, more than likely, we don't know because we've never seen it.
Yeah.
Only your wife knows, right? What you look like.
Yeah, and that's quick.
And it's a 6-pack and all the things, and you just don't really show it off.
The 6-pack I keep because it's an 8-pack, not 6-pack. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
It's an
but
8-pack.
Listen, I keep that. This is true. I keep that because it's a way of my body telling me what it needs. So I'll get up in the morning, I'll feel around, not to see if I have a 6-pack, to feel fluid or inflammation or anything. And I'll say, boy, you know what? I could really use a steak today, or I could really use fish at this time because I'm a little inflamed. So let me eat fish. And so I use my body, my abs now, as a gauge of what to eat. And lo and behold, it's really cool because your body tells you, if you have it kind of in tune, your body tells you what it wants to eat. The coolest thing ever, what it needs. And so when I feel like I need a steak or red meat, B12 and stuff like B vitamins, I'll have it, and I'll go in the gym and have an incredible workout. And then sometimes I'm not going to have a big workout today. Let me eat fish. And I'm okay. I'm perfect. I'm not bloated. I can get through my workout. Anyway, so been doing that for 30 years. Feel what my body needs. And it actually tells me. I know when I'm dehydrated. I know when I've had too much water. I know anyway. All those things. 100%. And that's 100% true story.
But wakes up like a journalist, 2:45.
So cool.
And goes
Wake
at
up,
it.
can't wait. Not like I was telling him backstage, not one time have I gone to work and said, man, I got to go to work today. Every day. I love that.
Happy. Yeah, that's awesome.
It's
that you're
so
that happy
cool
to be to work.
But it's because of everybody, because of the clients I have, and because of what God put me in as a job, and very blessed to have so many good people around.
That gratitude helps too. When you have gratitude and you can focus on the positive and not focus on the traffic
the negatives
and
are small.
The weather, whatever.
And which goes back to what you and I talked about earlier, balance. If I'm balanced, if I wake up in a balanced state and go to bed in a balanced state, then balance equals positivity. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
And I feel like I can't fail. If I'm in balance, I know that I can't fail.
You feel good, and your mind's
in the
right place.
My mind's in the right place. Everything just falls into place because I'm balanced, right? Because you're balanced. Anyway,
that's awesome.
That's Ken's little life right there.
Love
That's
his
AM, PM in a nutshell. And that's...
I mean, really, we could stay all night, I think.
Yeah.
We started at 2:45. Yeah, we can.
All night. Anyway.
That is good.
But yeah, that's just a little tidbit. And that's 100% true story.
That's amazing. I'm such a slacker.
I've heard
And you do this on the weekends too when you don't even work. Do you
So
still wake up at
So
2?
the weekends I'll sleep in.
Okay, what's sleeping in?
So the weekends I'll sleep in a little bit. I'll sleep till 4:15 maybe.
Oh my God.
I can't do 4:30 because 4:30 slacking. So I make myself sleep till 4:15
Oh my goodness.
because if I sleep till 4:30, that means I'm way oversleeping. So it's got to be 4:15.
Gotta be 4:15.
Yeah.
What about going to bed? You still go to bed the same time on the weekends when you wake up at 4:15?
I try. I'm not a big out person. I'm not a drinker, so I don't have any of those problems at all. I've never drank in my life.
In your life?
Never drank in my life.
Wow. Well, because you started at 17, I guess, before it was even legal to drink.
Yeah.
Although, in New Rose, we were drinking at 14. We had nothing else to do.
Just
So
never
go
did.
get us a
My high school
wine
friends
cooler.
would come to get me to go out per se, and my parents bought this empty lot with all the money they had. Poor little family, right? They bought an empty lot next to their house. Just ready for this? Just so I can run sprints. My friends would come and get me at 9, 10 o'clock at night to go out, and I had lights up there, and I was running sprints in that empty lot. After I would work out with those Sears weights. True story, every night.
Wow.
I just never did. I never had a.
That's
I
so
don't know
good.
what it tastes like, so why do it?
Yeah.
Cheesecake and
I
so on and
don't
so
know.
forth. Don't know what it tastes like, so why do it? Pizza, why do it? I don't know what it tastes like.
You know about cheesecake?
Don't know what it tastes like. Why have it?
Don't try it. You might like it.
Now here's the thing. I can tell you what you think this is all glory and everything, but I can tell you this: anything outside of my norm, which is basically chicken, red meat, fish or chicken, rice or sweet potato. I'm not a big veggie guy. Sometimes asparagus, sometimes green beans, but that's about it. Anytime I veer off even a little bit from there, stomach
know it.
problems hurt
Stomach
so
hurts.
bad. And so in my mind, why do that?
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that if it's going to hurt my stomach. Then guess what? I'm not balanced anymore. Then guess what? I start my day in a minus. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I want to always start my day in a plus, positive. Isn't that crazy?
It's so crazy. So good. Good stuff. I'm telling you, it's freaking nature. Like, these not, yeah. Wow.
It's so fun though. That's all I know. It's so fun to me. And the crazy part about it is continually it gets fun.
Yeah. And it keeps getting better and better. So how does your wife deal with this, though? Is she like you? Or is she the opposite?
So my wife will order dessert first and then the meal
Yeah.
because I don't eat dessert. Now I do this. So I think there's a lot of comes that my mom used to cater weddings and functions. And so I did that with her from the young age, like when I was 8 years old. She needed help, right? So had to help her cater. And then that's where I got like, oh, that's fried fish is nasty and chicken and weddings. And I don't want none of
It's
that.
like working in a restaurant.
And the
Yeah, you
cookies and
kinda
the
get like-
sweets. I'm not a sweet guy at all. I hate sweets. I don't like the smell of them. So I don't have any problem with that because I had to do it from such a young age and smell all that. And then most people, think about this, most people at a wedding or not say overweight, obese, but you just engorge with food. And I'm sitting there, not that that's a bad thing, because I love to see people eat and enjoy themselves, right? But I'm like, look what that's doing to you. And then I start thinking about what is that doing? And that's how I got involved in that. Okay, what is that 55th drumette that you just ate doing to you versus the second one? I'm
Yeah.
storing that. My body doesn't need that, so
Yeah.
I'm going to store that. Boy, you're going to feel like crap in the morning. And anyway, I just don't want to do that to
Yeah.
myself.
So you just don't have it.
It's not a happy place for me,
Yeah. Where normally, and unfortunately, some people eat to,
A lot of people.
yeah, it's emotional eating,
lot of
or it's
people.
I eat to be happy, or like they're
lot of
filling a
people.
void. We talk about that sometimes too. Like even just like with God in general, like sometimes we do things, we drink, we do. The people do drugs. Sometimes you're looking for something to fill a void,
Yeah.
and sometimes all you need to do is just get in the
many
shower and
people.
pray.
And the place we live in, that's easy. Just the way we live, so it's easy to do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it's easier to be the opposite of you
Yeah.
than to be you. Although,
Absolutely.
but for you, it's been such a constant that it's fine.
And you see, I take that as a blessing also because I'm in a Cajun country per se, and food is everywhere, right? Good food. So for me to be in this and doing what I'm doing, I feel very blessed because I'm one of the ones that don't do that. But I have all these people that I can help. It's
Yeah.
not like California anywhere where they're healthy,
Yeah.
So anyway, I feel very blessed to be able to do this with the community I'm in, the state I'm in,
Yeah.
because of it.
That's awesome.
But anyway,
All
thank
right,
you
well,
so
it's
much
been
again
a
for
great
having
one.
me. Yes.
You're welcome. Thank
Yes.
you so much.
You're very welcome.